to another edition of Coffee Bowls and Money. This time live on location from Georgios Coffee Roaster in Farmingdale at 1965 New Highway. We're here with my man Rich.
We're right by Adventureland, one block.
Yep, right behind Adventureland.
East of it.
Yep.
One block east.
We're here to demonstrate the Haley Sforza Pour Over system. We're going to be talking about some coffees, how they come about. We're going to talk about why pour overs are cool, and then eventually we're going to use our pour over system here to brew ourselves some techno. Alright? So Rich, why don't you tell me on a little tour, tell me what we got, tell me what we need.
Alright, so first thing, we roast all the coffee here. This is our machine. We do about 20-pound batches at a time, bring in all rare coffees.
The dang.
Yeah, really good stuff. So that's the most important thing to start with when you're making pour-overs, is really good coffee. You want to find a good local roaster like us that's very discriminating and just brings in stuff that tastes really awesome. And that'll make your job brewing at home a lot easier. So basically we have a little display here. This we'll go through really quickly. This just kind of shows the stages. Coffee actually grows as cherries.
Which is this stuff over here.
So on a shrub. So this is actually like the dried fruit from the outside. But basically there's usually 2 seeds inside each cherry. So the stage is they would pick the cherry. Then for natural process, they dry it in the cherry. So like the coffee we're drinking today is done that way. And they do it very carefully so it doesn't get any like funky, fermenty flavors.
I wish you guys could smell this too. It smells so good. So good.
And then there's a thing called wash process where they'll basically remove it out of the cherry into a protective coating like this, almost like a cashew. And that's how they dry seeds. And then before they send it to us, they call it hulling, where they remove the parchment and you get your green coffee. And this is what we as roasters get. And then we're gonna basically cook that in a very special way to make the coffee soluble, make it taste good, and bring out the chemical changes that get the coffee that everyone knows and loves.
What's pretty cool is that aside from these giant sacks that they pick up, they get like small little testers, whatever, and they run it through not the giant machine, but they got one of these smaller machines just to run a small brew amount, and like this is super sophisto coffee gear to brew the best, to make sure they're getting the best. This way I get the best, which is what I like. So we got, what kind of coffee are we using today?
So this one is one of the newer Ethiopians that we just got in. It is from Shakiso, Guji, which is like a region inside of Ethiopia. The farmer is named Dambi Udo. Basically, this is a natural process coffee, so this is one of those where it was dried inside the cherry very carefully. So it has a lot of really nice, like sweet, fruity flavors, and then some floral notes to it. We roast this one on the lighter side because this preserves like a lot of the delicate notes that the coffee has. Or if we were to roast it deeper, you would kind of lose some of the complexity that the coffee has.
I have a question. When you get it in like this, do you roast them into like 3 different stages, a light, medium, dark, and try to figure out which one's the best, or do they say this should be a light roast, this should be a medium roast?
Yeah, we kind of know based on how the coffee tastes, the general idea, and then we'll do a couple of smaller test batches, and that's like what Georgio will do, and then we taste that, and then we Georgio will decide based on our test batches, like where we think we get the best flavor, and that's what we target.
Super cool.
Generally, the best coffees get roasted lighter. It's just the way it is.
Which I find is not a fallacy, but like I feel like most people feel like a lot of the flavors are in those dark roasts. Apparently not the case.
Yeah, it's the idea is you don't want to burn out those flavors that you're finding in the coffee. So with the coffees that have a lot of flavor in them, you tend to roast medium to medium light to light to try to preserve those flavors.
Always got to preserve the terps.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
funny.
I'm gonna get some hot water going.
Okay.
And we'll just go through the stages of doing a pour over.
This is the Sforza Pour. I do this with my girl Haley Cat down in Fishtown, working out of the hop shop. These she's designed to fit on top of either any kind of cup, a mason jar, which is her favorite, or Rich has this super cool stand which actually fits on the scale, and we're going to be talking about all these tools that you don't need but that are out there to make your pour the best. Obviously, when I'm involved, we got our fume works going on, so as you brew your coffee, the color change will come out in that morning sun. Actually, I also wanted to ask you, why do pour overs? Like, why go through all this stuff? What makes pour over the best, or why does a pour over make good coffee?
So, for me, the biggest advantage of brewing with pour overs is that you're able to make yourself a fresh cup of coffee and do it in a way where you're in control of the variables. So, rather than if you're brewing for yourself, you don't want to make an entire pot. You're able to brew a smaller amount. You're able to control everything. I like the paper filter myself because you get a lot more flavor clarity. So that's why I prefer the pour overs. And it's just part of like a nice little ritual in the morning.
Love it.
That's really it.
My followers are all about the rituals. So
exactly. Cool. So
let's do it.
Once we got the water going, I'm gonna go grind this coffee really quick.
Is there a certain grind you need to do a pour over?
Yes.
Like a certain
so
size?
now for these, what you want to do? Okay, so you got a nice little hole in the bottom.
Yep. It'll hold.
So what's nice is with the one small hole, that's a pretty forgiving.
She's out cold by
so if there's a bigger hole in it, it's a little less forgiving. You have to be more careful. So when you have the one smaller hole, you can actually just use really a standard drip grind, which is kind of like I would say like maybe table salt.
Okay.
Is a good reference point.
Okay.
So you don't want to grind too fine, or else you're gonna more easily over extract the coffee. And if you grind too coarse, the water's just going to flow through really quickly and you're not going to extract enough.
Okay.
So you want to kind of find that middle balance, but if you're going to guess slightly coarser than too fine. Just my preference.
Okay. Makes sense. More surface area.
Important thing for home brewing, if you are going to spring for a grinder, which is a good thing to do, you want to make sure you get a burr grinder. If you get one of those little like spice type of whirly blade grinders, you're going to get a huge variance in your particle sizes. So you're going to get like big chunks, and then you're going to get super fine powder, and you're going to get like a really weird mix of extraction levels going on, which is going to not give you like the ideal flavor.
I think the burr grinder is like two wheels like clanked together.
So
or something
either
like
there's
that.
like flat burrs where they're like two plates, or there's conical where it's like a cone that goes inside and adjusts up and down to control the diameter. But the idea is it just gives you a consistent amount of space that the coffee goes through, so the particles are more closely together and like the same size. So that gives you a more even extraction, which is basically the goal.
Holy moly. And here's what we came out with. See, it's like a medium coarse or whatever. It smells amazing. Ethiopia.
Super yummy. So nice trick. We're using the Hario V6002 filters. So you're gonna see there's like kind of that perforated line along the edge there. You just want to fold across that line, like so. I'm sure you guys might have some experience with things of this nature.
Yeah, get it out of here.
So now you're gonna go ahead and press that in, and that just helps it fit a little better in the brew cone. My next thing I'm gonna do is just pour some hot water through. Always good to have something to catch the hot water. So we're going to preheat the brewing device, which is nice, so it won't pull heat away and make you under extract your coffee. And then it also rinses any paper filter taste out, stuff like that. So you don't have to use a lot of water, just a little bit is good.
I know we're to the scale yet, but is there how do you
Coffee to water?
Yeah, coffee to water per serving.
Exactly. So we're gonna get right into that now.
Sweet.
The good thing is a lot of you guys probably have scales laying around at home. Hopefully they have at least a 2,000 gram capacity. If you don't have a scale for whatever reason, the magic number is 2 tablespoons of coffee per 6 ounces of water.
Okay.
So if you're brewing, a 12-ounce cup, you want to use 4 tablespoons of the ground coffee. If you're brewing a 6-ounce cup, use 2 tablespoons, and kind of just follow that. That's like the golden ratio.
Do you sell these here?
We do not actually sell the scales. We sell the filters and stuff like that, and the coffee. We like to not sell too many things in terms of equipment and stuff, because we're able to kind of recommend the things that we actually like, and if that changes, we're able to change our opinion.
Great.
Get stuck with that. We also are a small company and don't have the Bed Bath and Beyond return policy, so you'd be amazed at the things that people try to return.
Trust me, we're all entrepreneurs here. We all feel it. So this little standy thing sits right on top of the scale.
So now if you do have a scale, we're going to be brewing today with a ratio of 1 to 15, which is 1 gram of coffee and 15 grams of water to every gram of coffee that we use. Sorry, it didn't come out so smoothly.
That's okay.
But pretty much anywhere from 1 to 15 if you like it a little stronger. If you drink your coffee black, or if you like it not like super strong and heavy. Hey, how's it going? You can do like 1 to 16, 1 to 17. That'll, still give you a nice flavorful cup, but just not be quite as intense. But we like things a little on the more intense side. So we got our brewer rinsed, preheated. We have our vessel here. We're gonna turn our scale on. We have our freshly ground coffee, and we have our water just off boil. So really good idea if you can to invest in a kettle that has, it's called a gooseneck kettle. So it kind of has a long thin spout here that allows you to control the flow of water, and then also like kind of where the water goes. So it gives you a little more control. Again, when you have just that one little hole in the bottom, it's a little more of a forgiving brewer, so that's what's nice about this one. You can kind of get away with just carefully pouring little bits at a time. So now we're going to go ahead and dump in our coffee. It should be at 20 grams. Hopefully. Give or take
Close enough.
0.1 of a gram.
Yep.
We're going to give just a nice little shake here. That just levels everything out. And we're going to be brewing with 300 grams of water.
Going into the pot, into the cup.
Yep. So I'm going to tear my scales. Now we're back at 0. Now there's a thing called the plume, where you're going to add, if you have a scale, about 2 to 3 times the amount of dry coffee and water. So if you're starting with 20 grams of coffee like we are, we want to use 40 to 60 grams of hot water to start the bloom. So we're going to start our timer, and you're going to want to get right up here on the top. And you're going to see with the fresh coffee, it's starting to release the trapped CO2. So it creates a nice little bubbling up. Timer going.
Come down here, we can see our stuff starting to change color with the cool fume action. Starting to perk a little bit. Starting to catch that goodness. You said the single hole kind of traps the water for a second and really gives it time to do its thing. Is there a specific time for this that we are looking for?
So when you stop seeing the bubbles happen,
Yeah.
in about 30 to 45 seconds is when you're going to add your next amount of water. So after the bloom, I basically divide it into 2 more pours. You don't want to take too many pours, because what happens is your water temperature or your brew slurry temperature gets out of the range.
Look at this thing go.
You're also just adding more variables to the equation, so kind of like the less variables, the better.
Sure.
So we're just adding a little bit of water. We're going to let that go down just a touch.
Oh yeah, again, wish you could smell it.
at 300 grams. Hopefully getting money there.
Boom.
And I have one little technique I do that helps prevent coffee from sticking to the side of the walls. Be very careful when you do this, but just a nice little spin there. And all that does is it creates like a little bit of a whirlpool, and that pulls the grinds off the sidewalls, so everything settles nice and even on the bottom.
You had mentioned with your stock ones here that the ridges on the inside were important. Is that why they're important?
They're important, yeah, just to help the water flow and just to keep kind of that air space, just to allow the water to keep draining down. If everything was blocked, what can happen is it would just kind of sit there and pool and not be able to drip all the way down.
Haley obviously thought of that. Just all these units all have those ridges in there. It's pretty cool. Exactly right, Judge. Exactly right. Once we're done panning, you look on the top of this thing, you can notice it's dramatically different up here. It's definitely gone through whatever process and it's just kind of draining out, filtering through the grinds, getting all the goodness.
And we're hoping to finish brewing at about 3 minutes. So just a little under, a little over, you're in the ballpark there.
Yeah, you're just hitting that 3 minute mark.
And again, if you want to make it easy for yourself, make sure you buy really high quality, fresh roasted coffee. Doesn't hurt if you buy it from Georgios.
Doesn't hurt.
We have about 30 different coffees right now.
And the best part about it is the list is revolving. Come on here.
Pretty much from like $20 to $300 a pound is what we have.
$300 a pound. I have not been there yet, but I'm here every other week or every couple of weeks or whatever. And the coolest part about it is like once you make your way through the list, once you know it, the list changes itself, and all of a sudden there's a whole new slew of deckness to go through.
We sort through all the coffees before we bring them in to make sure that we taste all the bad ones so you don't have to. So I just want you to come really quickly and just take a look. What you want is a nice level, even bed. And that's you'll get just by doing that little spin. And that just allows all the water to go through all the coffee, so you're getting the fullest even extraction as possible.
Super cool.
All right. So, and this is my other favorite part about pour over. Just the cleanup's super easy. Just pinch the corner, toss this in your compost if you got it, or your garbage.
I've actually heard super good compost.
Yeah,
Already doing that.
A nice balanced compost. Give yourself a nice little rinse, and good to go for the next day. So go ahead and taste this. Yours. I'll go grab my little cup.
I'd say I smell, maybe I smell a little like cherry fruitiness going on.
Definitely some cherry. Some floral notes going on there as well. A little like bergamot, something like that.
How do you go with bergamot?
Earl Grey tea. That
right.
Smell when you open a can of Earl Grey tea.
Wait, cheers. Thanks, Bob.
Better than that.
Super smooth. Like this is straight black, nothing added. Super smooth, super drinkable.
Really sweet.
Really sweet. Not just say the Earl Grey tea, I can definitely taste like tea type of note. That's cool.
So fruity and floral. That's that Ethiopian.
Fruity and floral.
Really awesome, beautiful brewer.
Thanks.
Anyone should be happy to own this.
This little guy is available. You can feel free to hit me up and we'll talk about, I think we're trying to let this one go for $200. I think the normal ones are $100. You can check out her Etsy to see the normal ones. Hit me up if you're interested in purchasing our Cool Guy collab one here. I want to thank my man Rich here at Georgios Coffee Roasters. 1965 New Highway, Farmingdale, right behind Adventureland. Us Islanders know where Adventureland is, and if you don't, you're not really an Islander. This was super informative, super cool. I want to thank you very much. Thank the guys here at Georgios.
Thank you.